Okay, call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance of our United States.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody. Hope everyone had a great Easter. I did. And we certainly had a nice weekend. Roll call.
Sandy Kufelt. Here. Chris O'Regan.
Here.
Christy Hiltonen. Here. Artie Bryson.
Here.
Cindy Valentine. Here. Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
All right, we do have a full house, full quorum. It's good. Bills payable. I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills payable in the amount of $143,000, $143,083.44.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any questions or any comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Christy Hiltonen.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, do we have any public comments? Any public comments on anything?
Good evening, Board. We would like to come and introduce ourselves to you. My name is Kevin Witherspoon. I'm the president of the Algonac Little League this year. I've been bestowed with that honor. Here with my boys, we're here to invite each and every one of you to our opening day ceremonies, which we're going to hold on April 29th. It's a Saturday, coming up at 9 a.m. Any of you that would like to come, please come and join us. If you would, check in at the concession stand when you get there so that we can identify you to the crowd that will be out there. Just to give you a little bit of information on the league this year, this is one of the first years where we've actually, our status has actually gotten higher than 300 little leaguers out of this community.
Yay.
So
Congratulations.
we're very proud of that.
Yes.
We're doing a lot of neat and interesting things with the league this year. And the day of the opening day ceremonies, we will also be doing a dedication for a very special project that just came up in our league, in which a 40-foot American flagpole with a 15 by 10 foot American flag will be dedicated to two retired DPD officers. Their family, their brothers, their family has donated the money in order for the Little League to put up this humongous flagpole in the middle of our quad out there in the Little League field. So we're very proud of that. We're going to dedicate that day. So it'll be a very special day. If anybody, especially throughout the community, wants to come out, watch some good baseball, have some fun, 9 a.m. are the starting of the ceremonies, and then a full day of baseball.
April 29th.
April 29th.
Play ball.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
300 is a good number.
Good seeing you. Yes. 303.
Nice job, Witherspoon.
Good for you, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Any other public? Seeing none. Move right along to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda
Oh, thank you. See, I always.
to add new business number 11, the training for the treasurer.
We have a motion. Any support?
Support.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of amending the agenda as the motion states, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right. I'll entertain a motion for consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the minutes of the board meeting of April 3rd, 2017, and synopsis, reports, check reports, March assessing, building, zoning, code enforcement, police, and water, the April Parks and Rec updates. There is a notice, April 14th, the summer recycle hours are going to be Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 6, and Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 5 until November. It was effective April 14th.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now for the supervisor's report. And believe me, this is a synopsis of my last 2 weeks. I probably could just do a 2-hour supervisor's report, but I won't do that to everybody out there. But we did have our MTA conference the past week. And 5 of our board members made it there, and I thought it was a good conference. I learned a lot, and I'm sure the other members of the board will say the same thing. I spent a lot of time Monday and then Wednesday again talking to state legislatures. They were they weren't in session there, but there was a lot of them around, and I talked to a lot of their staff members. The big thing I really beat them up. Well, I did kind of, I won't lie. Back in 2000, the state cut revenue sharing way back. I think to the schools it was about 15%. I'm not sure what the counties were cut, but that was a significant amount. Townships were cut 30%. We got 30% less funding. And now the schools are almost whole again, the county's almost whole again. The townships still are not getting any more money. We're getting a little bit more. How the state revenue sharing works, they're statutory and constitutional. They have to give us the constitutional amount, but not the statutory. They pulled it all away. 100 townships, and we are luckily one of them, did receive some statutory state revenue sharing the past 2 years. Nowhere near what it was. And my big argument was that we would like to see that return to the townships, not just because we want the money and to spend it. I truly believe that more local, townships is the most efficient government in the state of Michigan. We spend our money more efficiently than the state does and most other county or state entities, municipalities, and it's been proven that. In other words, we have a bridge project we're building, and we're building that for about a third of the cost that MDOT's building a bridge like that on 26 Mile Road. It's just we're a lot more efficient spending money. And the big hit on the state legislature, what they're really concentrating on is improving our infrastructure, our roads, our water systems, and just the infrastructure in the whole state. And what better way to allow us to do it for them at a cheaper rate, more efficiently, I believe, than them doing it themselves. And that's really what I really force or hit on that big with them. Maybe we made some headway, I don't know, it's hard to see. Just because of the improved economy, we're forecast to have a 2.3 increase in our shared revenue going forward. I haven't looked, I haven't gotten the exact numbers yet. They should be out pretty soon. That's really what I really concentrate on. But there are some, and I'll go through these quick, issues that relates to township at the state level. Medical marijuana, it's coming around, and really they are so screwed up at the state level, they're not even sure how to handle it themselves yet. They don't have an admin board yet. There's lots of questions on it. To get into it, you have to opt in. We would have to opt in to allow like a dispensary or something here. But they really don't know how they're handling it administratively within themselves just yet. They did change some zoning laws, the Clean Energy Act for solar and wind. They have to adhere to local zoning ordinances now. In the past, it wasn't really unclear. In other words, if someone's putting up a bunch of windmills or a sun farm, solar farm, I don't expect any of that down here, but I know the northern part of the county, there's going to be a lot of action on that. They are extending the time we can put a lien on a property for lack of payment for water or sewer on the property. We can do it up to 5 years now. I believe it was 3 years. There's pending legislation, PA 436. If it passes, it's going to give us the right to regulate drones or unmanned aircrafts. Things like hours of operation and where they can operate it, things like that. We've had a few complaints of, a drone that's over someone's backyard 20 feet up in the air and things like that. And the FAA, we don't, it's all FAA right now. We don't have any tools to do that. That's pending legislation. Also, they're thinking about raising the speed limit on expressways from 70 to 75. In spots 55 to 65. And then they're also giving the township the right to request speed limits on gravel roads to a lower mile per hour road. How that would work is we would initiate it. It would go to the Michigan State Police for their final approval. But and I think that one's going to pass fairly quick. There's a lot of support for that. House Bill 4162, this is a good one. Allow special assessment districts to bring broadband and cable TV to a section. We have areas still in our township where there's no broadband, there's no cable TV. Marlow Road, I'm thinking Starville, I don't know, does Holland all have it? I think Holland does.
Most of Holland does.
But there are significant sections, and I've fielded phone calls. In fact, last year I was pitching to the state for to remedy this, is when you pay your cable bill, there's a section, there's a considerable amount of taxes that they collect on that. Instead of putting that back into the coffers, take that tax money and hold it to pay for the actual construction of putting the cable down the street. And then once that is in and paid for, then they can go into our coffers. I mean, otherwise it just sits empty, but this is hopefully might work. It's an option. Senate Bill 157, remove local control on materials used on water projects. This we don't like, we're opposing that. Anything that takes away control of locals. In other words, if there's a water project going on, we don't have the right to say, we don't want you to use PVC on that. We'd rather have a different type of material. They're trying to take that right away from us. Senate Bill 4131. And this was a topic of conversation I had in Lansing a couple of years ago. Forfeiture of employers or employees' contribution if a public employee is convicted of certain crimes, breach of public trust. In other words, if we had an employee here that was caught doing something bad, could happen. We could take the money that and they owe us money, we could actually seize the money that was put into their pension plan. So I'd like to think I might have had something to do with that.
Support.
Yes.
Just saying. Okay, House Bill 4272, allowing supervisors to perform marriages. And yeah, I'll marry you if you want to get married. Okay, I reported last meeting, FEMA is back. They did raise their ugly head. Wasn't as bad as, well, yes and no. Initially, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did have a sneaky suspicion they were going to deal with raising water due to wave actions. And that's actually, they did consider that. And I do have, they come out with a proposed map, floodplain map change. I was really nervous. I won't lie. I had these visions that they were gonna go in 10 miles from wave actions, from a wave. And that really wasn't the case. Bill Graytop, he was at the meeting here with me. I guess I should back up. There was probably 6-8 people from FEMA there. A couple, 3 people from the DEQ, a couple people from the Corps of Engineers, and there might have been a few others there. There's quite a few people. Bill Graytop was there, I was there. Elginak was represented by their Linda and their building their building administrator.
Association?
And yeah, Pat Fian, I'd like to thank him for coming from the Harsons Island St. Clair Flats Association. And then I'll tell you, they're a big help. There was Matt Mueller, he's a local civil engineer, and PCI, Kim, from another civil engineering. PCE, yep, I'm sorry. And then also there was Tom Rhodes. He's an insurance salesman. He sells a lot of flood insurance from CSI. And they were a big help to me and us there at the meeting. What they're calling, it's a new type of a zone. It's a VE zone, velocity, what's the E? Was it erosion? I believe so, velocity erosion zone. And it's basically from waves caused from wind. And it will only affect very few structures that we already have. I haven't pinpointed those yet. It depends a lot on the type of shore that you have. If you have a seawall, we're talking 5 feet. The waves go over the seawall a little bit, and that's all. If you have a beach or a soft shore, of course it will affect more. And they took into account that pretty much. So it's not really affecting a whole lot, and I'm not sure exactly yet. We're gonna have more meetings on this and get it defined better about exactly what's the difference of being in the VE zone or the regular flood zone. But the good thing that happened was they changed a lot of the flood zone area. They've actually taken out about 1,000 structures, 800 to 1,000 structures. And I have the maps in the back. I'm gonna have them online here, a link, hopefully in the next day or so. But to give you an illustration, if you wanna zoom in on Crystal, this yellow, this is the VE zone. It's hard to see. But if you notice, it goes right up to the shore and not much more. This is in Anchor Bay. It just goes right to the seawall and not much more. Then there is the red zone. It's all red. This is the floodplain, and it's staying the floodplain. But then there's the polka dots, I call it red polka dots. That is no longer going to be in the flood zone. This is a map of Harsons Island. This is where the ferry is on the North Channel. There's a significant amount on the mainland on the North Channel getting pulled out, and also on Harsons Island all the way to the South Channel, almost all the way to Sans Souci. And it's like that quite a few places. Like, again, this is actually in Ira. The flood zone stays, but you know, as you go inland on these drains, they're getting pulled out. So that's a good thing. Let's see, I don't want to forget anything here. We have these maps will not, this isn't going to take effect anytime soon. We're talking 2.5 years for this process. They are going to schedule another 4 to 5 hour meeting where we'll get a lot granular. And I'm going to invite the Matt Mueller and Project Control and Rose and Pat Fian and a few others to that meeting. What they did to come up with this VE zone, they actually collected data from 1960 to 2009. They said that we had 130 wind events, and from that they were able to figure out exactly how to determine this new VE zone. And it was a pretty good fact. We have 117 miles of shoreline with all the islands and everything. That's significant. But, you know, it started to get, you know, we were questioning the whole thing about FEMA, and it was above these guys' pay grade. But in short, you know, we were basically saying the perception, it's my perception too, I won't lie, it's nothing but a money grab. All the money they collect doesn't stay here. They did say that Clay Township did receive $1.1 million in relief at some point in time. If I remember right, back in the early 80s, we had a tornado on the island, and FEMA did show up for that and did some relief. I'm not sure if that was what they're talking about. If anybody ever received a check in our township from FEMA for flooding, please let me know. I don't know if that actually happened or not. But if you know of anyone, Anchor Bay Drive or on any low spots that did get flooding, please let me know that it did happen. I was really trying to hammer out of them. I think we had to ask them about 3 times what we pay in flood premiums a year. And they kind of avoided it for a little bit, I must admit, and kept on going back to it. And it turns out that Clay Township, this is just Clay Township, pays $230,843 a year in flood insurance premiums. That's money that leaves our community.
How much?
Yeah.
600 and... You said 200.
No, did I? No, it's
600.
It's 630,000. 630,000. Let me be quick. 630,000. And you know, they've been collecting this for a significant amount of time. I kind of estimated that, you know, it was about 18 million. I'm trying to get that number that we've received, or we had to pay out in the whole year. But this is off of people's mortgages. On the way back, I'm thinking, how many foreclosures could this have stopped, or what else could that money have gone to, and things. We even got into a discussion how, you know, we're low risk here. Other parts of the country are high risk. Why are we paying for it? I suggested, and I know it's been brought up before, if we had a regional FEMA for just the Great Lakes, and we pay into it till it reaches X amount of money, and then we could stop paying into it until something happens, or fund it some way like that, where it's more equitable for us. One lady from FEMA, she came up to me, well, you pay car insurance, don't you already? You're mandated to do that. I goes, yeah, but I can see where my premium pays for my risk and potential loss, number one. I can't see where my premium that I pay on my house pays for a potential loss. My house was built in 1889. It's never been wet, but they say it's in the 100-year wet or floodplain. If I didn't have to have it, I would not have flood insurance. Would I have car insurance if I didn't have to? Yeah, I would. And another thing too, for car insurance, I can go out and shop different companies. There's only one place you can buy flood insurance, and that's through FEMA. It is what it is. So I don't think that was a fair comment for her, and it kind of, yeah, I got, the more I talk about it, I get, my hairs stand up on the back of my neck. I don't have any up here anymore.
Get red in the face.
Yeah, am I? I probably am. But like I say, this is going to take, this is about a 2.5 year process. We're going to have several more meetings, and I assure you, we will be watching it very, very close. But there's going to be a lot of homes that are going to be out of the floodplain, and I'm going to have a link out, we'll put it out everywhere, that you'll be able to go right to your address and see where you're at on the proposed map change. And again, the solid red, you're still in the floodplain. The red dots, you're out of the, you're in the floodplain now, but you'll be removed. And then the yellow is the new velocity area. And that's, like I say, this is all out in the water. You know, it goes right just to the beach, so. I'll get off that soapbox. See, I told you. We have a closing date on 5244 Point Trumbull, April 27th. We got the inspection of the house done, and we're just ready to go on that. I did mention we're working on getting some turtle crossing signs. I got them. They're going up tomorrow. Show and tell. This is one of them. Turtle crossing signs. Don't run the turtles over. We're going to have them along the Dyke Road and Harson's Island. So hopefully they'll be going up at least at Dyke Road tomorrow. And what else is cooking?
Cleanup.
Cleanup weekend, Saturday, June 3rd on the mainland. On the island, June 3rd and 4th. On the mainland, it's behind the water department on Ainsworth, soon to be Muskrat Run, or Muskrat Run. And on the island, it's on Browns Field. Upcoming events, we have April 21st, a fundraiser at the Elginak Lions for the dog park they're trying to build in Elginak, $10 a person. April 29th, St. John's Marsh cleanup at 9 o'clock at the DNR access site, the southeast corner of the marsh. And also April 29th, I'm torn now.
Same day as
I'm gonna hit both.
the Elginak Little League ceremony.
Yeah, April 29th, 9 a.m., Elginak Little League opening day ceremonies, play ball. And Phragmites Workshop, May 13th, right here at the hall from 10 to 11.
While we're on the subject of April 29th, if you don't mind, I will add that April 29th is the last day you can request an absentee ballot by mail. I will be in office, excuse me, from 9 to 2 that Saturday. If anybody wasn't able to get it mailed out in time, you can come in the office and request one.
And I do want to reiterate the township recycling yard hours, this for yard waste, is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 to 6, Saturdays and Sunday, 9 to 5. And that's also next to the water department on Ainsworth, soon to be Muskrat Run.
Hey, Artie, is that posted on our website?
Yes, it is.
Perfect.
Under garbage.
People will find it there.
Yep. Okay. No unfinished business. Sorry it took so long, but FEMA's a big thing, at least in my book it is. New business, set public hearing date for soil removal. We have to do a public hearing for soil removal permits.
Make a motion to set the public hearing date for soil removal permits on May 15th, 2017 at 7 p.m. And that will be at our meeting that will be taking place at the Harson's Island Lions Hall on Harson's Island.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have resolution 2017-09, opposition to nuclear waste repository. You want to talk about it, or should I?
Go ahead.
Okay, we request again Phil Pavlov has been leading the charge to try to stop the nuclear waste repository they're trying to put up in Canada, up in Lake Huron. And we did pass a similar resolution. Heck, it's got to be 3 years ago. I think we were about the first ones to do it. And this basically is reaffirming our opposition to that. And I don't want to read this to you.
It's pretty long.
It basically says we're not in favor of it.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's, we don't like the idea of them putting radioactive material that close and actually below our watershed in Lake Huron. And we do think that there's other options available for the Canadians that is further away from the largest source of fresh water in the world. And frankly, it does make me nervous.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-09, opposition to the nuclear waste repository.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any more discussion or comments? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Kristi Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufel.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. I just want to make a comment too. We were one of the first ones to pass a resolution in support of Candace Miller's efforts to stop the Asian carp from coming into the Great Lakes too. That's another threat that's,
Lurking all the time.
yeah, another reason to stay up at night. Resolution 2017-11, written policy for commuter expense.
This was put together just to affirm the policy that we had previously discussed, affirming that the resolution affirms that the provision of ferry tickets is not for the purpose of commuting to work or returning home from work, but provided for employees only if they are in the capacity of doing employee business. Employees and officials, I should say. So I will make a motion to approve the Resolution 2017-11, the written policy of commuter expense.
Support.
Okay, you have motion and support. Any discussion?
I have a question on the resolution. It says at the top, present, and trustee I'm listed, and then down at the bottom, it says that I'm absent.
Yeah.
It's just a template, and that's because it was originally going to go into the last meeting.
I will make a point that because my brother owns the ferry, I don't get charged, so I don't charge the township ever.
Right.
for-
Yes.
Yeah, Joanne's the only item.
And then planning or zoning board of appeals that have to go over and look.
Right,
Right.
we have other boards that, if
Yeah.
there's property over there that needs to be looked at for them to make a decision, we want them to not hinder of going over there because of their having to pay a ferry fee.
Well, it's a
Just
matter of
keep-
making a request first, right? Make a request to go over, so look at, you know, somebody on the planning commission wants to go over, take a look at this property, get permission first, right? Or
Right,
okay.
well, now they can just make sure that they can just say it, it's not a question anymore, we actually have the policy.
Okay.
Is the policy set up for a resolution, or is the policy set up where they come maybe to an office and pick up a ticket? Sorry.
They do come to the office and pick up the ticket. Right?
Perfect.
Yep. That's how
It's
it's handled.
fantastic.
Okay?
Is there any documentation listed of who gets
Okay.
tickets, how often, or for what
Yep, the
purpose?
tickets we do have, we have a tracking log for.
Okay.
Each one's numbered, so they're issued.
Yeah, we got a handle on that.
Sounds good.
Okay, any more discussion? Roll call vote?
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kufel?
Present and yes.
Chris O'Regan?
Yes.
Kristi Hilton?
Yes.
Motion passes. Even from all the absent people. All right, Resolution 2017-12, amending the Board of Review compensation. I think this is just, it was a little ambiguous, and we're just kind of clearing that up. Isn't that right, Cindy?
Yes.
So,
I'll make a motion to amend the Board of Review compensation, Resolution 2017
-12.
-12.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any discussion? Like I said, we're really not changing anything. It was just a little ambiguous. Like two people could read it and get two different, and did. So
Does everyone understand the pay structure? No?
I believe so. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kupel.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next, we have Council on Aging, $1,000 appropriation out of budget line item 101, 965, 96502. It's a budgeted item. The state, how it works, townships are allowed to only spend money on specific things. It's too bad for Kevin Witherspoon. It's against the law for the township to actually give money to the Little League because it doesn't benefit the whole township. And that's really what the criteria is. But the state does allow us to donate money to senior citizens groups, museums, libraries. And I think that's about it. And we do have a letter of them requesting it. And that's what we're looking for. I'll entertain a motion. Do we have a motion?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll make a motion to approve the, $1,000 appropriation to the Council on Aging, line 101, 965, 96502.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any more discussion?
They're a really fine organization, and they do the Meals on Wheels.
Yep.
And do an awful lot of stuff for the seniors.
They do a lot of good for our
Especially-
community with
yeah,
very
yeah.
limited resources.
So it's a good, very good thing.
Is this a community organization or a county organization?
County.
County.
County?
Yep. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have consultant Fahey, Schultz, and Rhodes, upcoming labor issues. This is a company that I've known a lot of the attorneys for quite some time now. They only deal with township law, and they know their stuff. They're very active in the MTA. Like I say, I've known them for quite some time. Other board members got to meet them, and I think whoever did realize how good they are on their specialty. We got a couple of questions coming up soon with labor issues, and they have a couple of dynamite attorneys, Lizzie being one and Ryan. Right now, I mean, they're basically a few dollars more an hour. I mean, right now we pay $140 for our current legal firm that we use, and they are between $150 and $210 an hour, depending on who we will be using. And we will be using Ryan most of the time, Atkins. But like I say, they know their stuff where, our local guys, and I will call them tomorrow and let them know. I'm sure they won't have, they're still going to be our primary legal counsel. We just want to use them for a couple specific things where, our guys would probably have to do more research and put more hours in it than these people do, because that's all they do. I know, Chris, you got to meet them, and Christy, and.
Yep.
And, yeah, they are,
Quality.
I was very impressed.
Very
Yeah.
impressed.
Very sharp, well-spoken.
yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
Experts in their field.
Boy,
Yep.
are they. So that's why we asking permission to sign the letter of engagement that's before you and take it from there. Entertain a motion. I'll make the motion. I move that we allow myself as supervisor to sign a letter of engagement with Fahey, Schultz, Burjek and Rhodes.
Support.
And we have support. That was quick. Any more discussion?
Gotta be quick around here.
Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Kind of like a contract, shouldn't we do a roll call?
Oh, you're right. Let's do roll call. I'm sorry.
Just for, ready? Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Sandy Kufal,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Christy Hilton,
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, next we have a request for our Parks and Rec. We did this all last year for the portable stage rental. For the whole year, it's $1,100, as you recall, for music in the park. A couple of years ago, we looked at, and the original plan for the park was to have a little gazebo built in the middle for putting the bands on. And then I got costs, it was like $45,000 to build this thing. And here's the, we can rent the stage from County Parks and Rec for $1,100. I'm thinking, geez, we don't have to maintain it, and, you know, this will buy us 40 years worth. And when the concert's over and done with, it goes away, and we have a nice green park still. It works out very well. The bands love it. If there's bad weather, it folds up real quick, keeps their equipment dry. And we'd like to do that going forward this year, too.
I'll make that motion to rent the portable stage for $1,100 from line item 208-000-961.00.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Any more discussion?
Is this a contract agreement for 1,100? Is this 1,100 per occurrence? I'm sorry. Can you help me?
It's $220 per week,
Okay.
5 times, so
And these
it's,
coincide with music in the park?
yep,
Thanks. That's all I wanted to know.
yep. Should probably do a roll call, huh?
It's not a contract, it's just.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Fire Department, we have, Chief's asked us to attend the FDIC show in Indianapolis. Chief, want to tell us about it a little bit? And he's only asking for permission to cover his room and entrance fee of $300, so.
This is done every year. The FDIC is where fire departments from all over the United States attend, and they have the largest vendor show in the United States, or one of the largest shows. There's like 3 of them, one on the west coast, one in the central, and then one on the east. This would give me a chance to go and look at the equipment. As you know, we need new bunker gear. I'd be able to talk to the manufacturers face to face and see what they have to offer. Along with, we need air packs, be able to talk to those people. So you'd be able to see what they have and talk to them.
Would they have
understand.
information possibly on future grants to pay for any of this stuff? or
It's possible.
Yeah.
They might have some avenues where they can
Point us?
direct us to apply for grants.
Okay. Any questions, Chief?
So just you yourself?
Yes.
And what, did you consider anybody else going along with you?
Not at this year. I will probably next year. I will probably send a couple people down next year.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
It's kind of a spur of the moment thing.
It certainly could be is a very valuable thing when you can, see all the products, right, and touch them and see what you're getting for your money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, building relationships.
Yep.
So should the board consider a per diem for
Well, it's in our
Is meal
policy.
expense?
We don't have to.
Yep. If we approve the, what's he asking for, the travel costs and lodging?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is township policy for travel for educational, but there is a per diem if they want to receive it. Depends on where he's going, it's set by the federal guidelines.
And get you some food money too.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right.
You gonna make the motion, Chris?
sure. I'll make a motion that we approve Chief George Rose in the attendance of the FDIC show in Indianapolis from April 27th to 29th, 2017, at a cost of $300 for expenses.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have fire department request for our annual, and it is mandated, fire hose and ladder testing. Cost of $4,904.75. Do this every year. Are we using the same people, or is this someone different?
No, we're using the same people.
Okay.
Waterless, or water?
Waterway, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that's the same one we did last year.
We have 18,300 and some odd feet of hose.
I gotta write that down, 18,000.
It's on his letterhead.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
187 feet of ladders,
Yeah.
end to end.
Well, it's, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual fire hose and ladder testing at a cost of $4,904.75 from 9/206/000, 9/32/01.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any discussion?
So at the end of this testing, the ladders are going to be NFPA and/or OSHA certified?
They'll be NFPA certified. They'll have the UL stickers on them along with the heat stickers that you have to buy for them.
And-
They'll meet the NFPA standard.
And any of the hoses that fail the hydro test, are they going to be replaced or taken out of service?
Well, what I'm gonna do is, once we test all the hose, I'm gonna check and see, we possibly might be getting rid of some of the hose because we don't need 18,000 feet of hose for our vehicles. So that's something, when the two departments merged, you get hose from both sides, both departments.
You're not going to test all 18,000 feet, are
So,
you?
well,
Yeah.
I have to.
Okay.
I have to. And then we'll look at, see what we're gonna keep. We'll keep the newest stuff, get rid of the oldest stuff, and try and sell it to recoup some of our money back.
I thought maybe there was some age on the, on some of the hoses that,
There's some hose that's, I know that's been in service for 20 years, as long as it passes its test.
okay.
Thank you. Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have fire department reimbursement for EMT class. Megan Bickard?
Ricker.
Oh, Rickard, it's a B, it's an R, not a B. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to reimburse Megan Rickert for her EMT class, which was successfully passed, in the amount of $950 from line item 206-000-96000.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion?
Yeah, how much was that?
It's on the back page.
$950.
950.
For the EMT class, yeah.
Okay.
I believe when we hired her, she was actually just starting this class, and she had paid for it herself when when we hired her in, so. I'll say congratulations to Megan.
Yes.
For passing that. That's definitely not an easy class.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, 11, we have Michigan Municipal League training for our treasurer, a request. It's next week, right?
Yes.
So I will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the Michigan Municipal Treasurers Association training for Christy Hiltman at a cost of $600 for the week-long institute. It runs Sunday through Thursday. Is that correct, Christy? Through Friday. Through Friday.
Sunday through.
At a cost of $600 and then $450 for lodging. There's a total of $1,050 and goes to line 101-253-960, which there is budgeted money there for training that is available.
In Mount Pleasant.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. And Joanne's going to say how she likes training and education,
I
right?
believe in it.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? Motion carries. That is about it for new business. Board member comments. Sandy, should we start with you?
Sure. I do actually have some
Good.
comments. Algonac Youth Football League will be holding their final registration this Saturday from 9 to 1 at the high school in the cafeteria. And we encourage all youth cheer and football players to come on out. And even if you have questions before you register, we are there for that purpose as well. Also, the Algonquin Elementary is hosting an open gym for anyone currently in or interested in cheerleading. It starts April 19th through May 10th. Mondays and Wednesdays, you can work on your skills, meet coaches from AYFL all the way up to varsity. That's all I got.
Now, the football is Saturday.
Registration this Saturday.
Registration is Saturday, this
Yep.
coming Saturday, okay.
Chris, you have anything?
Well, I just want to comment on the MTA conference once again and kind of wrap it up. I really enjoyed my time there. I attended, I think I attended 5 breakout sessions in a couple of days. And it's interesting when you sit through a breakout session with some other trustees and other board members from other townships and understand that they're dealing with a lot of the same issues that we're dealing with. So to get advice and history and education on some of the issues that are pertinent to our township was a real attribute for the township, and I felt like it was a really growing opportunity for myself.
Great.
So I enjoyed myself there.
Glad you can make it. Christy?
I was glad to be able to go to the conference. Being brand new, it was overwhelming,
Sure.
in a good way, though. So it was a good experience.
Good. Mark?
The Planning Commission, we moved a couple of rezoning issues to the May 10th Open Meetings Act. That is south side of Folkert, going from R2 to R1. It condenses the property a little bit, so they'll be able to build more homes in there. And Danny's Party Store, he wants to put in wants to go from C2 to C3, put in a gas station along with his party store, to be in competition with the other
Yes.
party store, gas station areas. That's it.
Interesting. Good.
So that was moved to when?
May 10th.
May 10th?
Yeah, there's public notices in the paper right now, I think.
Yep.
Joanne?
I too enjoyed the MTA. I've been to them before, naturally, but you never can learn enough, and you always learn something new. And I went to 5 of them, like Chris did. bulletproofing your zoning decisions, which I found to be, they gave 10 points that you should know so that you don't have to end up in court. And that's always a concern of the planning and the zoning, and the ZBA also. And then how boards can speak with one voice, which I think we do very well, is get a consensus of an opinion, and without, we have discussion and come to a good, a good conclusion on when we have something serious to discuss. And then I went to the collective bargaining one, and I also went to their question and answer that attorneys that we're just gonna hire here.
Bill Fahey.
Fahey and group, and that was a good session also. Cindy was there, and Christie, they even served us a box lunch. Yeah,
Artie was there too.
and Artie was there too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, boss. And they asked, the questions were from different trustees and board members from all over the state. And many of them we were concerned with. We have the same questions, and they answered them good too. And then the keynote speaker, that Dr. Karoth, she was very inspiring and very highly motivated lady. She was a physician, a nurse, a this, a that, and she was fun to listen to, and she stressed team building, which I think is a very important thing too. So that's all I have to say without reading all my notes to you.
Thank you. Cindy?
Yes, I also had a great time at the conference, learned a lot, was happy to have attended. I also would like to thank the Little League president, Kevin Witherspoon, and him and his sons for coming in here and inviting all of us to their opening ceremonies on April 29th and their flag dedication. However, I personally will be unable to attend. I will be here in the office from 9 to 2 on April 29th for, I mentioned earlier, the last day you can request an absentee ballot by mail. So you have until 2 p.m. To request that to be mailed out to you.
Yes, the conference was good. I want to touch upon one thing I didn't, I talked to a bunch of state legislatures, and both Republican and Democrats, and I thought it was very refreshing. At a national level, our Republicans and Democrats are two different sides of the spectrum, and there's a big aisle, and they just don't get along. That's not true at the state level. They respect each other. There's a lot of communications between the Dems and the Republicans in Lansing, and they've been telling me more times than not, Republicans will go on the Democrat side of an issue, and a lot of Dems will go on the Republican side on issues. But so there's lots of working together in Lansing, which made me feel good.
They did have the speaker on that also at the banquet.
Oh,
was discussing.
Oh, yeah.
So
But
it wasn't just you noticed it, lots of people noticed it.
But, yeah, they seem to try to get things done in Lansing. So I'm very hopeful there. So I just want to, make that point. And everyone, spring's here. Be the sponge, soak up some sunshine. All right, if you have anything for the next meeting, let us know. May 1st is our next meeting here. And,
Motion to adjourn. Support.
all right, all in favor? I'm not even asking.
Aye.
Aye.
We're out of here. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good couple weeks.
7:59?
7:59, under an hour with a long supervisor's report.
That was fabulous, Artie.